Okay, so car's back, all fixed. Ouch. I will just go through exactly what it was. So I took it to the an independent. I'm glad I didn't go to Porsche in the end because it would have cost a lot more from just from a labour perspective. And I will just go through some points about some things people said on one of the forums I'm on. Ultimately, not going to hang around. It was the aircon radiators on both sides. They've been on the car for the life of the car, and unfortunately I'm the one that's had to pay to replace them. So I took it to, they're called ADH Alpha Delta Hotel. Porsche, they're a local specialist to me, an independent specialist. I just explained to them it was coming out cold on one side, on the passenger side, not the driver's side. And then ultimately it actually ended up stopped being cold at all on both sides. So I kind of figured at that point when that happened, it was a leak. They did offer to give me the pictures of the old radiators, but I don't see any point there. They were foobarred. So the cost of this in total was £1,346.35p. I was really hoping it would be no more than about 500 quid and maybe like an actuator. Sorry, I closed my gate. Maybe like an actuator motor, as I mentioned previously, that moves the blades. But as I also said in the previous video, having gone to a very nice person off the Boxer.net's house and putting in the diagnostic tool, that wasn't the case. So here we go. So we've got air conditioning radiators, two, they are the official Porsche ones, and I will come on to that. Aircon dryer, labour 4 hours, I'll come on to that as well, and then to regas. So I didn't have to go with the Porsche radiators. They did give me an aftermarket option, which probably would have saved me £300 there. But I think I've talked about before that I am potentially thinking about getting this warranted by Porsche. So the first time when I bought the car, it just had a service, and I didn't want to have a new service by Porsche and an inspection and a warranty. It just would have been too much having just paid for the car. But next year it's due a service. And if I want to warranty it through Porsche, which is cheaper than the aftermarket warranty that I've got through Motor Easy for a better cover, I would have to have original Porsche parts. So to keep that option open to me, I went with original Porsche parts. If I didn't, I could have saved about 300 quid. The only other contentious thing seems to be the 4 hours to do the work. Most people seem to be saying to me it should take 2 to 3. So maybe I could have been 100 quid better off if they only charged me 3 hours. The labour rate I think is pretty reasonable, 90 quid plus VAT. And then finally, I could have got it regassed, so repaired by ADH and then regassed at Quick Fit. But if I'm going with them and they're going to be looking after the car potentially going forward, I'm not sure. Definitely for any repairs, I would rather they just did everything. So in theory, if you weren't worried about potentially having a Porsche warranty on the car in future, if you wanted to cut the cost of getting the aircon done, I probably could have got that for about £1,000, and if someone else could have done it in 3 hours, £900. So that's the kind of conversation I ended up having on one of the forums I'm on about how much I paid. You know, it's a bit painful, but it's been on they're the original radiators. I can't imagine they'll go in my lifetime again. You know, I'm only going to be keeping the car 3 years or so. And that's the other thing when it comes to resale. If I was buying a car and I looked through the receipts and found that someone had put on non-Porsche parts for a car that's over 30 odd grand, I'd be a bit, oh, okay, what else have you skimped on then? If you skimped on the radiators, what other receipts can I find that you skimped on? Therefore, it brings into question how well the car's been looked after and maintained. So that was also one of the other things going through my head in terms of keeping the parts from Porsche. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is go out for a drive with all of my mates and just remind myself how much I love the car, and then hopefully that payment will pale into insignificance in the longer term ownership of the car. But there you go, you own a car like this, you're going to get some bills. As always, I'll keep people updated. Any questions or anything like that, just let me know.